So friends, are you ready? Ready for the first trial of a criminal former president of the United States? Me too. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, it looks like the first of Donald Trump's 4 criminal prosecutions, the first of his 4 criminal trials, will begin on Monday, April 15th. Or, as The Hill reported, Trump faces do-or-die moment with hush money trial. And that article begins, former President Trump is facing a do-or-die moment in his effort to delay the start of his first criminal trial, with his choice of punting tactics dwindling in the days leading up to his day in court in New York. The former president has vigorously fought to stave off his criminal trials until after Election Day, an endeavor that, if successful, could put the 4 cases against him on ice should he win the White House. Trump hasn't completely run out of options on the hush money case, but judges this week rejected some of his remaining 11th hour strategies. That has provided the clearest sign yet that Trump's trial over his alleged role in concealing a hush money payment to porn actress Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election will begin Monday. Quote, their entire strategy for years and years has been delay, 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 said Jessica Levinson, a law professor at Loyola Marymount University. This is true in the federal cases, it's true in the state cases, it's been true of any inquiry even that he faces. Trump's attorneys appeared in court each of the past 3 days seeking delays of the imminent trial, but appeals judges in each instance rebuffed the efforts. And we're starting to hear more about who some of the prosecution's witnesses might be. Potential witnesses in Trump hush money trial revealed. NBC News has obtained a list of likely witnesses in the New York hush money criminal trial of former President Donald Trump. Stormy Daniels, Hope Hicks, and Michael Cohen are among those who may testify. And there are lots of other potential witnesses, folks like Hope Hicks and Karen McDougal. And friends, there is so much damning evidence against Donald Trump. I started going back through some of the reporting from about a year ago, back when this indictment first dropped. And you may recall at one point, Donald Trump and some of his lackeys, some of his flunkies, his mouthpieces, were floating lies like, these hush money payments had nothing to do with the campaign, nothing to do with the election. Trump was just, trying not to upset Melania if she got wind of, what he had been doing with Stormy Daniels. Well, do you remember this reporting from about a year ago now that kind of knocks down those lies? Headline, Trump wanted to avoid Stormy Daniels' hush money payment by delaying it past the election, DA alleges. And that article begins, former President Donald Trump wanted to avoid paying $130,000 in hush money to a porn star by delaying that payment until after the 2016 presidential election, according to the Manhattan prosecutor pursuing the first ever criminal charges against an ex-president. But Trump directed Cohen, Michael Cohen, his lawyer and fixer, Trump directed Cohen to delay making the payment to Daniels as long as possible, according to Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. Trump instructed Cohen that if they could delay the payment until after the election, they could avoid paying altogether, because at that point, it would not matter if the story became public. D.A. Bragg alleged. What a guy. So he agreed to pay Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet, but then he told Michael Cohen, delay the payment until after the election. That way we won't have to pay her at all, because it won't matter once the election is over what information comes out about me. I mean, he was going to stiff her. Now, what happened to this had nothing to do with the election. It was all about protecting Melania's feelings. You know, friends, the jury, they're just going to love Donald, aren't they? And speaking about how jurors receive evidence and how they evaluate witnesses, you know, I've heard lots of people recently talking about, well, you know, Michael Cohen is a liar. Michael Cohen lied in the past, therefore the jurors won't be able to believe him. They won't be able to credit his testimony. So let's take that on. Over my years as a prosecutor, I sponsored lots of co-conspirators who decided to plead guilty, accept responsibility for their crimes, and testify about the crimes of others, typically about bigger criminal fish. And Michael Cohen will be testifying against the biggest criminal fish of all, the big orange blowfish, Donald Trump. And remember, Michael Cohen made these hush money payments. He was part of this, corrupt scheme to bury this information so the American voters wouldn't know anything about it going into the 2016 presidential election, and then falsifying business records to cover up the true nature of the hush money payments. He did all this at the direction of and for the benefit of Donald Trump. He did a lot of cruddy stuff for Donald Trump in the many years he was Donald Trump's attorney and self-described fixer. And he told lots of lies, including lies about what Donald Trump did and what he, Michael Cohen, did. But he decided to flip, he decided to come clean, and he has decided to testify truthfully about the crimes of Donald Trump. And here is how I would argue Michael Cohen's credibility to the jury if I were the prosecutor in the case. So when I was trying cases in the courts of Washington, D.C., there was an historic church that was just a few blocks away, the Shiloh Baptist Church. And what I used to argue to the jurors in closing arguments and in rebuttal argument, I would say, the defense really beat up on the cooperating witness, the co-conspirator of that defendant right there, who was doing crime with the defendant and who told lots of lies to try to keep those crimes from coming to light. And I didn't pick that witness. I didn't pick the co-conspirator. You know who picked the co-conspirator? The defendant picked his co-conspirator. Donald Trump picked Michael Cohen as his fixer, as his partner in crime on these hush money payments that they then falsified business records to cover up. That was Donald Trump's choice. If I got to pick the witnesses, I'd probably go up to the parking lot of the Shiloh Baptist Church at 1 p.m. on a Sunday, and I would pick, 3 church-going grandmothers who were also members of the Shiloh Baptist Choir, whose credibility was unimpeachable. Perhaps some of the most credible witnesses we could find. That's who I would pick. But guess what? Donald Trump didn't pick those folks. Donald Trump picked Michael Cohen to commit these crimes with. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we called Michael Cohen as a witness. And did he lie in the past, including to protect Donald Trump? You bet he did. But he is now coming forward, telling you the truth, and he's corroborated. He is supported. He is affirmed by the evidence, by an undercover recording where he and Donald Trump are scheming to commit the crime, scheming to make these dirty hush money payments and cover up the true nature of them. And he's corroborated by email traffic, and he's corroborated by the reimbursement checks that Donald Trump was writing and signing himself to reimburse Michael Cohen for the hush money payments that he, Michael Cohen, made to Stormy Daniels for the benefit of Donald Trump and at the direction of Donald Trump. And that's why you can believe him. That's why you can credit his testimony. And that is one of many reasons Donald Trump should be held accountable for his crimes. He decided to break the law. And we're simply asking you to hold him accountable for making that decision. And yes, it's been a long road to the start of Donald Trump's first criminal trial. But I'll tell you, friends, I have a good feeling about this one. I think accountability may finally be coming for some of the crimes Donald Trump committed. And it is somewhat fitting that these are the oldest crimes charged against him back in 2016. This was the first indictment returned against Donald Trump about a year ago now. And it looks like Donald Trump has finally run out of rope. He's got a trial court judge he cannot intimidate. He's got appellate court judges who are not playing his dirty little games of delay. He's got witnesses he has not been able to scare away, and it looks like they are standing ready to testify for the prosecution beginning next week. And yes, it looks like accountability might be coming for Donald Trump for at least some of the crimes he's committed. And that is a damn good thing. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.